Doopy-doo. And here's the bit where I sit around waiting to see if anyone's going to show up. Is there anybody there? I'll just give it a minute, see if anyone turns up before I start. Ah, there we go. Hello, Connor. First aboard, mate. Good to see you. Yeah, this is the ugly mug. Oh, we've got someone else just turned up as well. So, has it actually got someone here? Yeah, showing 2 people watching, so might just be you then, Connor. Ah, there's Chewy. Howdy, Chewy. Now I've been a bit more organised this week. I have actually. Hi, Angie. I've actually made a list of some things that I've thought about this week that might be interesting to talk about. And we will start out with new things. Exciting, but not too exciting. I haven't got a lot this week. Just a couple of new plants, some Hygophila siamensis and a Cryptocoryne undulata red, which I split up. So half is in with the Rams, Danios, or CPDs, and Copper Harlequins. The other half is in this tank just off screen, which is with the Butterfly Cichlids, Glow Light Danios, and Ginger, the long-fin super red bristlenose, who is actually out and about at the moment and looking very pretty. Other than that, I've not bought anything fish related this week. Well, some new bug bites I got today. Oh, not an Aussie stream, Connor. I'm a Brit. I'm about as far to the east of England as you can get. Thanks, Stewie. Yeah. Don't worry, Connor. It's something that I've encountered quite a bit online gaming in the past, where Americans do, for some reason, mistake my accent for being an Oz. I might say a few Australian words from now and then, the same way I say a few Americanized words. I just pick up the easiest bits of whichever language or dialect or accent and use them because I'm lazy. So, yeah, that's what I've bought this week. I've not had any deaths. Yay! Always good. No new births, but these things happen. The baby Grubensis are growing well, doing well. It looks like I might have a couple of albinos in there as well. They're certainly a lot paler than the others, so yeah, all part of the Commonwealth, Chewy. We all have the same Queen. Thankfully, we don't have the same Parliament and government, but we won't get into that early in the stream. There's something I've been thinking about, and I think Chewy has as well. And I know Rob Bull did a video about with his Crebensis. That's fish communications. Now, sorry for that, Connor. That's always a sad thing when we lose someone. Yes, I refer to my fish as people. Yeah, fish communication. Now, okay, they communicate with each other. We don't necessarily know how. And there's a lot of body language and colour and things like that involved. But so just to see a mother Crebensis. Hey Scott, how you doing? Yesterday. Where was I before I got thrown off by singing Yesterdays? Oh, nice new flower horn. Always good. I'm not a fan, I have to say. It's not my kind of fish, really. No. Yeah. So I told you I'd sing for you, Scott. That's about all you're going to get, though. Especially with the Beatles songs, they will definitely copyright. Yeah. Good day, Rob. Yeah. Shaved Yowie is here again. Uh, ba, ba, ba. Oh, Miss Alsagua Aquarians. That's what it looks like to me. I'm probably pronouncing it completely wrong. I won't be up that late, Scott. Mind you, you'll be an hour. Everyone will be an hour earlier tonight because of our clocks have gone back with daylight savings. Now, only just come on, Aaron. Yeah, always a pig waiting on paint to dry. But yeah, yeah. If I don't catch you tonight, Scott, I'll be serenaded by you in the morning. You can sing me awake. But yeah, so seeing as Rob's here, coincidentally, so not good, Rob. But the female crib communicating with the fry. Now, I'm always amazed with fish fry what they can do when they're first born, anyway. But to actually see the communication, the more you watch your tanks, the more you realise. But if you've got communities, if you've got one honking great big Dovi or other flavour of cichlid in a tank, you're not going to get much into fish communication. But between species, they can read what each other are saying, feeling, doing. Yeah, I agree, Connor. It's a complete waste of time and money. It's just annoying. Because let's be honest, it just means everyone's car clock is out by an hour for 6 months every year. But the other thing that was brought up is, can fish communicate with us? Do they understand when we communicate with them? Now, they can't necessarily hear in the same sense that we do because they don't have ears generally. Some might. There's always a random exception. But can they read lips? Can they feel the vibrations of your voice through their lateral line and then understand what something means? So much in the same, if you walk up to the tank and say dinner time, do they all then automatically come up for food? I mean, I know my better does, Norman. I think the others just come up in the hope anytime I go near the tank. But I think there is something to it. I think that the communications can be there, whether it's understood in the way we say it's dinner time, whether they understand what that actually means, or they recognise that vibration or that mouth movement to mean there's food coming in. Now that's an easy one. I mean, I believe that they can is something that scientists are going to have to take a lot of studying and a lot of looking into to be able to prove what's going on. But I believe there is a level there. So, with higher vertebrates, listen to me. But yeah, let's say a bit different with things like guppies. They tend to be fairly dumb. I mean, they're the only fish I've ever had that was catching them is easier than not catching them. You're trying to catch something else out of a tank and a guppy keeps swimming into the net. It's really annoying. Oh, sorry about that, Aaron. Never good when we lose a pet. Yeah, I know entirely with cats. My fur buddy, he's not my cat, but I'm his pet human. He knew when I came home from work. It threw him off when I had a week off. He'd be sat outside the front door at home time. I opened the door to let him in. Yeah, I like guppies because they're pretty and they're easy to keep. Zach is an awesome cat. Yeah, that'll do, Rob. Failing that, just stick a couple of bricks and a plank under it so it's not actually right on the floor and you don't kick it too often. Yeah, I think Zach. Yeah, he's a one of a kind cat. He's a psycho attack cat with 99.9% of everything. But if it's a pet of mine, he guards it and looks after it. So I've seen him. I've seen a pigeon go flying across the back garden with him go flying behind it. And the amount of times I find dead pigeons or doves or anything like that, he'll have. But then I've seen him put a baby blackbird back in the nest when it fell out because it was in my garden. Oh, we've got special guest star. There's Dave, the bristle nose, being a girl. He got called Dave before I realised it was a girl. Yeah, it's Yep. I got bought a bat a few weeks ago, Asbo. Aaron. Yeah. It was dead, not a mark on it. Hey Chris, how you doing? Sorry to miss your stream again, but Sunday's a busy day. It's the day I see Mary, and we're out buying things for houses because she's just moved. So yes, did get to check out a couple of pet stores. They were fairly pathetic. They were the UK version of Petco. It's Pets at Home, and the one closest to me is really good. Super clean, super bright. Everything's laid out neatly. The fish section is clean, healthy. Everything's great. These two Pets at Homes, they were dank, dingy places, half empty. Thankfully, they didn't actually have any livestock at all, because I doubt it would have been doing very well if they did. It's Dwight K-Town. How you diddling, buddy? So yeah, we did that today. I can't go into two pet shops or fish stores one after the other and not buy anything, so I just got some catnip for Zach and a pot of cichlid bug bites. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of snakes. I can look at them on a screen, but we're fairly safe from them in the UK. We just got the grass snake and the adder, pretty much, and the slow worm. And it's very rare that anyone actually sees one. You've got to be a fisherman, basically, to see a grass snake. I've only seen two. All right. Yeah, I completely agree, Aaron. There are sensors outside the ones that we use. Oh yeah, Alex Cooper. Yeah, well, there you go. So we generally we say the 5 sensors. We use a lot more than that. Sense of balance for one, and you can sometimes get. Don't want to get all paranormal straight away, but you can walk in. If you walk into somewhere that is, let's just say, haunted. Well, a more obvious example. If you went to Germany, Poland, and you went to visit Auschwitz or any of those sort of concentration camps, if you walk through the gate, you can feel it. You can just feel the heaviness in the air. Now, is that the buildings, the ground, remembering something. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it, but you can feel it. Now, is that a sense that we all have, and some of us are more in tune with it, much in the way that a blind person will have better hearing, be able to hear things much more acutely than a sighted person will? Or a deaf person is a lot better at reading lips. You know, it's there. I fully believe there's. Yeah, I've seen that. That is mental. Yeah, I think there was a documentary, and I think they called it Dolphin Boy or something. Uh, tonight's energy drink of choice, non-sponsored. And I've gone for a smaller can, so I sleep a bit better. But yeah, so the sense is there's so much of the human brain that we don't understand yet. Yeah, I say it's whether you believe in ghosts, spirits, the afterlife, whatever. If you don't, there's no such thing. It's all rubbish. I challenge you to go into a place like that and not feel it. This is like the cheap. Well, it's probably, well, as there is Walmart, or was, whatever's below the level of Walmart in the States is where this comes from. This is from Lidl. So whereas Red Bull is like £1 on a can like this is 25p. You know, does the same job. Yeah, speaking of sponsorships, I did have an interesting story. Oh, Banff Springs. Yeah, I've heard about Banff Springs Hotel, Chewy. Um, yeah, we've come to rely so much on the main senses we have that we don't have to sense when there's a wild animal about that might try and eat us, because it's generally not an issue. You know. I think I'd rather have a Nycrew Light than a case of energy drink, Chris. Um, so that's, yeah. I completely agree with that one, Chris. What you were saying about the lights, it's better to have the right light than an expensive light. Yeah? If it's cost you $3 or £3 and does the job, it's a good enough light. If it costs you 300 quid and all it does is grow algae, you know, imagine putting a big Kessel light on a Fluval Flex. It's just going to become an algae bomb, or algae. Let's get the English pronunciations here, peeps. You see, that's another one. Algae, easier to say than algae, so I say algae. Oh yeah, I've got plenty of spooky stories, Chewy, but maybe for another time or a bit later on. Wait till Candy gets here if she does. But yeah, so where was I? I've completely lost my train of thought now. Someone prompt me, where was I? Sponsorships, yeah. As you may or may not know, I used to race radio control cars and was sponsored by a few companies for different bits. And I stopped racing, gave it up. And then before I got back into the scale modelling, I bought a couple of RC cars, thought, yeah, I'll get back into that. I might do, Chris. I'll see how I go. When is Halloween? Are we the 27th? Be on Thursday. Possibly. We'll see how we go. I don't really do Halloween anymore. I kind of got banned from doing it because I was too scary. Anyway, so yeah, I stopped. And we're not talking like a couple of months, we're talking 15-year gap. So I got new cars, built them all up, wanted some different tyres. So I went on like one of the places, ordered some tyres. I had the tyres turn up and they gave me the old discount I used to get when I was racing. It's like, you really need to update your systems. Yeah, so 25% off when I was just going to shred them on the streets. Oh, damn. Yeah, it's but yeah, it's, like I say, going back to where we were earlier, yeah, I think we have lost a lot of senses over the millennia, it would be, I guess, since we evolved from our apey cousins. The things that wild animals can feel and sense, and as they say, if somewhere's haunted, oh yeah, figure in black behind me with the mirror in the background, actually. Yeah, that's a scary one. Yeah, it's kind of a uh-oh. They're not going to hurt you generally. I've lived in houses that were haunted, and the dog would sit there growling at the corner of the room. You can't see anything, you can't feel anything. The dog can obviously see something because it sat there just. Hi Jesse, how you going? Yeah, and there comes some Aussie in there. But yeah, so quick going over of the fish. Can they communicate with us and senses and stuff like that? I mean, in my room, if my bed is in another place, I can't sleep. Yeah, yeah, I completely. Yep. So I mean, it's, it does kind of give me a chuckle when I watch something like Ghost Adventures or pretty much any of the stateside kind of paranormal programs. So they keep going about this really old, really ancient. It was built in the early 1900s. And you go, hang on, that's new. And I've lived in houses that are 400, 500, 600 years old, where the walls are literally 3 foot thick flint and clay. Yeah, try getting a drill through that. Get half an inch into clay and you hit a solid piece of flint. Yeah, it's I say so. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's just more history, so there's more time for things to happen, I guess. But I did have a theory about that, as I've noticed lately, whether it might just be the preponderance of stuff on YouTube or the social media side of it, things are getting more out there. But it does seem there is an increase in paranormal activity generally, especially in the Western world. Now, I'm wondering, I'm working on a theory that as energy can't be destroyed, when we die, our brain is an electrochemical computer. That electricity, those electrical signals are still there. They're just not in the brain anymore. They've gone, they've moved. Now, assuming that is what is causing the haunting or the spirit or the ghost or however you want to term it, assuming that is electrical energy, which, let's be honest, it's, yeah, I know, it's a young country, damn colonials. Um, Actually, I think everyone in here is either English or colonial. Um, so working on the theory that it's an electrical impulse, field, wave, whatever. Now, yeah, because you watch the shows or you do any of these kind of things, there's electronic voice phenomenon. It's the spirit boxes, the Oculus, everything that's working off of radio or electrical signals. Teeth in again, to detect these things. Now, that is what brings me to theory that they are, whatever it is electrical. Now, over the last decade or so, we've got, well, decade, 20 years, whatever, our houses, our workplaces, the general outside air, everywhere is full of Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, radio waves, electrical, everything everywhere. I mean, if you had some kind of energy meter, you'd see everything would just be bright clouds of energy. Like when you see the nighttime photos of the planet, where you just see all the cities lit up in bright light. And I'm wondering whether the paranormal is using our Wi-Fi to manifest itself. It's using the energy. It's just a theory I came up with. It seems fairly plausible. I don't know if any of you have any thoughts on that at all. Oh, yeah. Slide it along the floor on a towel. Good idea. The other one is rollers. That works quite well. Broom handles. Not fork handles, broom handles. And that's a joke only the Brits are going to get. Oh, I hope you're not trying to get me to do anything technical, Chris. This is about as technical as I get. Would you believe it took me about an hour the first time to figure out how to do a live stream? Yeah, that's how bad I am at technology. So, I've basically gone through everything. Oh yeah, everything electrical puts out radiation. It's not alpha, beta, or gamma. It is radio wave radiation or EMF radiation. It's one of the reasons why they say don't have things like your TV, your phone, whatever, by the bed, or don't have TVs, etc., in your bedrooms. That will affect electromotive force. Yes, I did do electronics at college. Because the EMF and the fields and the waveforms will, affect your sleep patterns. In my case, just having the bright LED on the power is enough to keep me awake. I've got an LED alarm clock. It's like yay big, and the numbers on it are inch. That provides enough light for me to be able to see around the room. This to me is super bright light. I don't like bright light. But yeah, so on that, it seems to be a fairly sensible theory. Yeah. And then they insist on putting bright blue LEDs on things, which are even worse for keeping you awake. A red one isn't too bad, but Yeah, I was like, that seems to me a sensible theory on the paranormal. And again, whether it's dead people coming back, or it's a dimensional slip, or a time slip, it's going to take a lot of study. Well, first of all, people have got to prove it's real scientifically before anyone will actually study it. Yeah, blue LEDs are just horrific. Did you actually realize that the three Japanese inventors who invented the blue LED, they got a Nobel Prize? Yeah. Because it's had so many uses other than just being cool. But yeah, they got the Nobel Prize for the invention of the blue LED. Yeah, random factoid of the day. I'll drop me Siggy. I have a lighter that works this week too. And as it looks like the only modelly person in here is Aaron Asbo. Are you going to Telford? As the Americans might not know, Telford being the largest model show, I'm not sure whether it's UK, Europe, or the world. The world, Jeremy Clarkson styley. Yeah, I've got some. Yeah, I recognise that. Yeah, to me, green is on, red is off. But I've got things that the red comes on when you turn it on. Chewy, I build. Hey, Lumpy. Yeah, welcome aboard. Yeah, it's because it's down at the. Is it down at the infrared or up at the infrared? Up at the infrared end of the spectrum. Yeah, it goes red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Red would be the bottom end of the spectrum, wouldn't it? Yeah, so yeah, it's yeah, it's the same weekend every year, Aaron. The weekend of Remembrance. So if you remember Remembrance Day being the 11th of November, it's that weekend. I say it's something part of me would like to go to, but it's pretty much the other side of the country. Now, I know for the Americans, yes, we are lump. So I know for the Americans, what would be for me, it's about I think it's Remembrance Day all over the Commonwealth. Yeah, it's like 5.5 hours on train for me to get there. As I say to Americans and Canadians, that's a short trip to the shops for some Canadians probably. Of the UK, that's a long way to go, and I would for that you'd want to do both days. But I've been to other conventions and other shows for different things, and I struggle to take more than 2 hours to see everything and get what I want to get. And as soon as it starts getting crowded, I just want out of there. I don't do well in crowds. Well, if you do, Chris, there's plenty of how I do videos, and if you go for a car, a plane, a tank, I've done car, plane, tank. Did I do a jet as well? No, or a figure. I've actually done complete. I think the figure's the shortest one. I think like the planes and the tanks and stuff are like 20 odd episodes. Oh nah. Ships are the one thing I don't do. Tried it once, really didn't like it. Let's put it this way, it ended up going out the window. Yeah, I say Telford is. It's one of those places where it's a bit of a hole. Yeah, but that's. I think it was actually last weekend they had the trade show for aquarium stuff there, or the weekend before. Depends how slow Maidenhead were at putting the video up. And I think as a trade show it looked quiet, but obviously you got to be in a trade to get in. I say from here, Aaron, I've got to go from Attleborough up to Norwich, then from Norwich down to Cambridge, and from Cambridge across to Birmingham, then from Birmingham up to Telford. So it's like 4 or 5 trains. Yeah, I'd be more likely to do one with masts and sails than I would a modern ship, and they're not easy. They, from a distance, they look like a big sea of grey, but once you've removed all the overscale plastic detail and replaced it with brass photo etch, you'd want to rip your heads out. Yeah, I've not done Star Trek. You might just see right up there is the Bandai Y-Wing, and what was a Cylon Raider originally that I went a bit nuts with from Battlestar Galactica, and somewhere in the distance over there is a Colonial Viper. I've done Gundams, big fighty robot thingies. I've done Warhammer 40,000 stuff, Warhammer Fantasy Battle, monsters, planes, tanks, cars, helicopters, no boats. Yeah, I'd have to go down there the day before, stay in a hotel overnight, do the do. Then I would have to either come back that day or stay another night and then come back the next day. As I say, I don't like crowd. I know I could go and hide behind the UMP table and end up working. That wouldn't be a problem. The non-modelers, the UMP Ultimate Modeling Products, same people own that run the International Scale Modeler YouTube channel, of which I'm on the Friday live stream. Ever ordered from Hobby Link? I have, and it will either be like a few days or a month or two. All depends whether they send it by plane or slow boat. Literally the slow boat from, well, Japan, not China, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Don't you go starving yourself, Chris. Yeah, it's I mean, I've ordered things from Serbia that turned up the next day, and I've ordered stuff from literally 30 miles away that took a week to get here. You know, I could have walked there and got it and walked back quicker than they delivered it. Hello, Zen Ginger. It was the Makatar mask sets I got for the 132nd Tamiya Zero, because I didn't do any paint, didn't do any decals on that. That is all paint. Same with my 124th Airfix Typhoon. That is all paint, not one decal on that. All the markings and everything is masked and painted. And those roundels are a pig to do. Yeah, I mean, I've ordered things from Amazon that were coming from Japan or China. I've had things turn up inside a week, and other things I've gone out and bought it again because I needed it. Yeah, 6 or 7 weeks later, it turns up. You're not expecting it. You're like, what's this? But yeah, postal services are postal services, and sometimes things are quick. Sometimes something goes wrong. Sometimes the ship sinks. Sometimes the airplane crashes. Sometimes it gets held at customs somewhere, and customs can be a pig. Um, I don't know how it is in the US, but if we order something from outside the EU, or as it will be fairly shortly outside of England, outside the UK, yeah, that's it. They're on a boat. They're in a container. Um, Hopefully there aren't 39 other people in the container. Sorry, I shouldn't joke about that. There are plenty of jokes going around on the internet though. Yeah, yeah. There's a value limit if it goes through customs. If you only do it once or twice, you usually get away with it. So if you keep ordering stuff from like China that they twig, it's probably on a computer system somewhere, and they will intercept the package, open it up, see what's in there, figure out what they think it's worth. Then they'll charge you the 20% VAT on it, and they'll give you a handling charge as well. Yeah, this is it. I mean, fortunately, they do seem to realise most of the time that things are only worth, or they say this is a. Yeah, they put on the declaration this is worth £20. It's a gift, and it should come through. But yeah, they're getting a more and more people are getting caught with that, and now they actually check to see what things are worth. So you do have to be a bit careful. So fortunately, in Touchwood, I've not been caught yet, but I don't order too much. $20 in Canada, so that you have a $5 processing fee and then tax. Yeah, the processing fee is considerably more. I think it's something. I think it's £12.80 or something like that. Well, depends on what it is. Sometimes it would be like 25 quid. You go, what? You charging me more handling fee than the thing's worth. Keep it. Yes, it's so much for a global marketplace. Yeah, Chris, that might be where you came unstuck when you sent the picture to D, because they might have valued it quite highly. Well, they should have valued it quite highly because you're a good artist. Well, compared to me, anyone's a good artist. I just about managed a stick man. It only looks a bit deformed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where they get you. And if they're feeling really cheeky, if you've got a pack of, say, three, so you got a 4 pack of paint, they'll charge you for each paint. And then if because it's a liquid and it shouldn't go through the postal service, I'll then switch it to parcel fast, which means you get another charge for that. Yeah, it's just, it may be cheaper to order, say, paints from the Far East, but by the time you've paid all the extra charges, I think Amazon have probably set up a deal with yeah, that's. I'll say it's. I would say the drawing was worth that amount of money, but it's no, that really is taking the mickey. Yeah, exactly. Amazon has influence, and I'll leave it there. Like all large corporations, they have influence and ways around things that catch other people out. Oh yeah, that's always the case, Aaron. When they got stuff going real cheap, you go yes, and then someone's already nabbed it all. And it was probably one person who bought all of those paints. Yeah, it's yeah, postage, shipping. Ugh. Heck, I remember the first class stamp was like 15p. Now what, like 75, 80p, something like that, just to send a letter the next day, and it's not even guaranteed next day. Hey Sean, yeah, don't get yourself in trouble at work. Um, Thanks for dropping in. Good advice there, Chewy. Oh yeah, I don't doubt that for a moment, Aaron. I don't doubt that for a moment. All the big corporations, it's all about dodging. Hey D, yeah, cooking is more important than me waffling on about random stuff. So we've gone from things I've bought, fish communication, electrical theory, and whatever randomness turns up in chat otherwise. Must have done, ears must have been burning. Hey Nige, Ginger Ninja. Oh, 18-hour shift. Oh, no, 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 no. Take 10 off of that and it's bad enough. Well, at least you're on the down curve. You only got 3 hours to go. Um, hey, Joseph. How you doing, bud? Actually, I have a fishy question that some of you people might be able to answer. Now, I'm not entirely sure in here where my pair of rams, there's one of they're actually out. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether they're both German. I think the male might be a Bolivian ram. Now, would a Bolivian and a German ram be able to breed? That is what I want to know. I think they're both Microgeophagus ramirezi, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure one of you guys will know. Yes, thank you, Chewy. So he's just being a bit coy then, because I know she's breedable, and they've been getting on friendly. Actually, they might both be female. That could be the problem. So I could always just try and get an. Hey, Bob. So I could always just try getting another male. That might just be a pair of females. I'll leave them a little longer because I'm kind of chuffed I've actually managed to keep rams alive. But yeah, I would like it if they bred. That was the whole point of getting them. And the female has laid eggs before with another male. So I know she's old enough and ready, but they might just both be male. Yeah, I'm not worried about crossbreeding. I just want them to breed. And in my theory, if you crossbreed them, you're going to get stronger fish. Um, and there's always the option for something weird and funky to turn up as well. Probably not aqua funky, but you know. Um, so again, as Chris is here and a few others. That does sound like a good night out, and I probably have done that in the past, lump, many moons ago, part of the 90s that I can't remember. But yeah, I say my crebensis, it does look like some of them might actually be either leucistic or albino of the 80 fry I've still got swimming around. So hopefully, I mean, I've never seen an albino crib before, but yes, no reason why it shouldn't be a. Yeah, apparently there was a 90s Rob. If I guess you were probably like me then. Yeah, I mean, I literally don't. From about 95 to, oh no, earlier than, probably 95 to 99, I just cannot remember. There's the odd little thing from like RC race meetings where I was sober, or hungover more likely. Yeah, I was wondering actually whether someone managed to breed an electric blue something and then crossed it with something else to try and get the blue gene to cross over. Yeah. I mean, Joel's open about his problems in the past, and I was also an alcoholic. Speaking of, yeah, someone's going to put me back to it. Hi, Alice. And I also used lots of drugs. Not so much the Bolivian marching powder and that side of things. It was more the hallucinogenics and the weed side of things. But yeah, gesture away, lumpy dog. I know you well enough to know you're just taking the mickey and having a laugh rather than being offensive or anything. And as I forgot to say, yeah, we will be kind of, was it PG-15 stateside or, yeah, 15 rated in the UK. Good for sports updates. Who won the Grand Prix then? What happened in the Clipsal? I heard there was a big crash. Who won the MotoGP? So I talked about Jim Palmer about differences. Mutation that came out of the same gene. I think that's just a general thing, Alice, that YouTube notifications are just pants. Sometimes they go through instantly. Sometimes I do it. I'll regularly, if someone's streaming during the day at a time when I can watch, I'll regularly get a notification, join, just as they're about to close down the stream. Yeah, so I thought the electric blue would just be a standard genetic mutation of the ram because they do have the. It's the same time every week, Alice. The clocks have gone back in the UK, so it's currently 7 minutes to 7. I start at 6 o'clock UK time. Yeah, there's lots of hybrids out there. Now, I don't have a problem with hybrids. If someone wants to breed something with something, fair enough. I mean, obviously, don't release them into the wild, and don't try and sell them as something they aren't if you're going to sell them. But if you're just breeding for yourself, interbreed all you like. And so I've got about half a dozen different flavours of guppy in this tank. If they all interbreed, I'm not fussed if I buy a certain type of or colour of guppy or platy or whatever, although platy's seem to be a lot more stable. And then some weirdness comes out the other end. The weirder the better. Now, if I could accidentally somehow breed like neon purple guppies, you don't want a turtle, Alice. They don't stay tiny for long, and by all accounts they stink. Ram and Jack don't see a genetic mutation, whereas the Akara was. Yeah, I'll say if it's a natural mutation, fair enough. It's like the glowfish. I mean, glowfish, do I have a problem with them? No, not really. Would I have them? No. They're great for getting kids into the hobby, I suppose. But do they really have a place? That said, I'm not opposed to genetically modified food. As long as it fills a hole and doesn't make me ill, I'm perfectly happy to eat it. Oh well, ran out of energy drink. That's done well to last me near an hour. Yeah, it's the more I do in this hobby, the more I'm finding just how deep you can go down the rabbit hole, or just down the wormhole even. Yeah, I'm all. I'll say if you've got a rare or endangered species, do not cross it. Do not hybridize it. Keep it pure. Yeah. If you've got, I mean, guppies, they call them million fish because that's how many they sell. Right. It don't matter. Platies don't matter. If you can get a new color strain of a certain species, the black night rams, I know they are in the States now. They're in the UK as well. I've seen them around in the UK. They're rather expensive, but yeah, there's a lot of selective breeding going on into it. I understand that. But if you were to take something and introduce something that isn't a natural color strain, again, in their natural environment, yes, Chewy. But as I was hearing, I can't remember who is streaming. Was it Bentley? I can't remember. There was someone I was saying that there are places like in Poland and Germany where they've got hot springs, and people have released things like guppies. They're breeding guppies and cherry shrimp, and they've got them in the wild now. Yeah, I say now they're in the States, Jesse. They will soon get bred, and then the price will come down because there are more of them. But you can't blame the breeder for wanting to keep it under wraps, as it were, and make their money. So it's wild fish in their natural habitats. I love. Now, I'll quite happily stand by a stream or a river or a lake. Yeah, I figured it would be Dean. If someone's going to be breeding something, it's going to be Dean. And if anyone needed it to do a YouTube channel, let's just say if it came up, because I'm actually subscribed to him, if it came up as a notification right now that Dean was on live, I'd be like, bye. yeah, I'll say it's not really a problem we have in the UK with our climate, with people, because obviously people do dump unwanted fish into local rivers and streams and lakes. But if you dump a tropical fish, it's going to pretty much this time of year is going to die. It's but I understand different warmer parts of the world, places like Florida especially. Now I think a lot of those have escaped from farms rather than been released, but it's yeah, I say they just don't survive in the UK. And we get the occasional report of piranha found in local lake, and it's the middle of summer, and people get all het up and worried, and oh, we can't go to that lake anymore. We can't let our fish or dogs swim in it, or blah blah blah. So no, it's fine. It's going to be dead. It's probably been eaten by a pike. Yeah, I get that, Bob. Yeah, I mean they're going to be slow sellers, the black rams, because people want the bright coloured ones. It's only us weirdos that are deep into the hobby that'll go, that is cool and rare. I want one. Most people outside of the fish farm and this more serious fish keepers, most people go into a shop, a store, and they look at what is the brightest, prettiest fish, and then they might actually work out whether it can live with what they've already got. Yeah, we do have some hot springs in the UK, so it might be interesting to have a look and see if there is anything that shouldn't be in there. Trying to think, there aren't any local to me, and mostly the other side and the south of the country, the hot springs, places like Bath, that kind of area. We've got plenty of freshwater springs around here, but yeah, I mean, that's another thing I've found, Bob, is I've done it a few times where I've bought fish in the shop knowing that they're going to colour up and look better once I get them home and they get settled in the tank. I mean, my crebensis, when I bought them, the only real colour on them, they had the black stripe and they had the markings on the dorsal fin and the caudal fin, tail fin, but didn't have any of the yellow, the green, the gold, the pink, the blue, none of that. And when I had the neon blue or the cobalt blue dwarf gouramis, they were silver when I bought them in the shop. There were loads of them in the tank, hardly any of the red ones left. But it's like within a few hours of being in my tank, they'd all coloured up. So people buy what looks pretty. And I've no doubt, Bob, that if you'd have bought the black rams, got them home in one of your tanks, comfortable, settled, happy, they would have coloured up more. But do you take that risk when you're buying what to me anyway is an expensive fish? Do you take the risk that it's actually that's as good as it's going to get, or is it going to get better? And much loads as I have to say, I think that's probably one of the few fish that would look better on a clown puke gravel. That kind of bright colour, because it would stand out. If you have black rams in here, which heavily planted and fluvial stratum substrate, they'd just disappear. They could be front and centre and you wouldn't see them. So yeah, this is it. It's yeah, we always need more tanks. I was looking at them today. Yeah, I mean, again, gold rams are gorgeous. Platinum rams are gorgeous. I'd say just the standard, the standard ram. Uh, in my experience, Lumpy, I would have said a Garami would be a good fry controller. I mean, I've used. Now, I don't necessarily buy fish specifically to eat the fry, but I've had up to 18 guppies in here. Now, if I didn't have anything that was eating the fry, I'd be overrun. Best ones, well, the best one I've found, I think, so far has either been the Epistogramma, specifically the male, because big old gob on him. He didn't bother any other fish. The Ember Tetras was safe. But yeah, he did demolish the guppy fry and the platy fry. The angelfish did as well, but she went psycho on me. And now I don't think the cribs go for them, but I've got apparently a Bozeman eye rainbow. I've no idea whether he or she actually is a Bozeman eye. But yeah, that does a good job of clearing out fry. Right. To revive an extinct species, current elephant and mammoth playing pairing. I suppose technically, if the genes are still there, Bob, you could breed to get those genes and eventually end up with a mammoth again. Hey, Tampa Tom. Yeah, I say people think the Bolivians are dull and boring. I mean, I've seen people who just walk past normal German rams, boring. But no, look. So I've got not that one, this one. I've got a trio of butterfly cichlids. Now, when I got those in the shop, they were just a dull silver colour. Right? Just dull silver, nothing pretty. But since I had them, they now got all their black stripes. They got the neon red and blue on the dorsal fin. They got the sort of neon orangey bits around their cheeks. Currently having a bit of an argument about territory. I think I've got 2 males and 1 female, and they're in a plural flex, and they've basically each got half the tank. Each male's got half a tank, so it's kind of working out okay. They just sort of flare at each other rather than fight. Actually, can we see if we can take the camera off and have a look? Huge hand alert. Let's have a look. See. We'll go this way. Let's see. Just about see the tank from there. From the side on with the wonky thermometer. It's probably never going to focus on anyone. Oh, there we go. There's one of the butterflies come to the front. But yeah, so hopefully they'll breed as well. That's what ideally I'd like to breed everything. Yeah, should we? Just because we can resurrect a dead species, should we? Is there enough of their old natural habitat left for them? Now, I think there probably is in like the Russian steppes and Siberia, but would they then destroy the ecosystem as is there now? Yeah, it was the checkerboard cichlids I was looking for, Chewy, when I got the butterflies. But nowhere around here had them, and the places that would actually tell you about things said, yeah, it's very rare we actually get them. We tend to get the special order if someone wants one, and you can't guarantee what you're going to get. So I thought, well, yeah, the butterfly cichlids, they do like hard water, which I do kind of have. I say hard water. The rock that comes out of my tap is liquid. And they seem perfectly happy where they are. They've grown quite a bit. Yeah. Having a bit of a spa, showing off to each other. All entertaining. Pam, pam. Yeah. So I think I've got a video filmed somewhere about the tank with the cichlids in, the butterflies. So I'll try and remember to put that up at some point. I am awful for actually remembering to upload videos. I film them and I either sit on my camera or on my laptop, and I just don't get around to putting them up. I've probably got about 15, 20 videos ready to go, because obviously I don't do the editing. I just hit record and start talking. So pretty much all my videos are like a live stream. Yeah, they get around about 3 inches long total, I think. Mine are, I would say, probably about two and a bit inches at the moment. The males, the females, inch and a half. So I'm just looking to see if Ginger's out and about. I don't think she is. I think she's hiding up somewhere having a snooze. Yeah, I'll say the passenger pigeon, that's a shame about those going. Although, remembering back, there is an instance of one animal wiping out an entire species. I don't mean like the human race. I mean, there was I think it was a lighthouse on a small island, and there was a species of finch only found on that island, and nobody knew that until the lighthouse keeper's cat had killed the last one. Yeah, I'm still here, Connor. I'll be here maybe another quarter of an hour or so. So yeah, and then are there animals that we should just let go extinct that we're keeping alive? As Chris Packham once said about the giant panda, the only reason that is still around is because it's cute and fluffy. Yeah, the awkward work. Oh, off go the fireworks. Bit early fireworks night, when we celebrate a Spaniard going into the Houses of Parliament to try and blow everything up. I know, say the pandas, they're cute, they're furry, they're adorable, but they've evolved themselves into such a tiny niche that, the millions that has been spent on keeping them alive, I'm not saying kill the pandas, although panda burger would sound good. Wonder what it tastes like. Maybe if they tasted good, people would farm them. Like, they basically evolved themselves so they can barely breed. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'll say exactly, Connor. If it's something that is our fault, we've destroyed their habitat, then yeah, it's up to us to do what we can to keep them going as a species. But if it's something that we haven't destroyed its habitat, and it has basically just come to an evolutionary dead end, I mean, Yeah, if it's come to an evolutionary dead end and has basically served its purpose, then do we let it go? Hey, Paul. Or is it Warwick? I'll never be too sure. Be bloody expensive though, a panda burger. So evolutionary, yeah. If it's something that is dying out because of us, then we should step in and do something. If it's something that's dying out just because it's, like the panda. I mean, if pandas were ugly and scaly and only came out at night, then they'd have been extinct a long time ago. I mean, that said, the red panda is far cuter in my opinion anyway. That is like the cutest animal there is. No, when it's that size again, that time again. Yeah, that does remind me of the old joke, Paul. Yeah, I'm going out clubbing. Oh, where? Seal clubbing. I'm not entirely sure, Chewy. I've not been around the hobby long enough to know exactly where everything comes from. Hey, Fisherman Fever? I mean, Paul, I'll wear a loincloth if you want next Friday. That might put your viewers down to 0. There'll be a few wage quits. Yeah, quits, that's it. Oh, I hate people anyway, Fisherman. Yeah, it's yeah, the Madagascar and Mexican. I'm not entirely sure. I know we get Madagascar rainbows, because I've watched enough of people like Bentley to kind of get a bit of a twig on where some of them come from. I'm not sure about Mexican fish. The only aquatic thing I know we have is well, the only aquatic thing we have I know of from Mexico is probably the axolotl. But it's just I think some of our import laws regarding certain species are a little bit more lax because they just can't survive in our water system. Goodeids and swordtails. I've not ever seen goodeids. I've seen plenty of swordtails. Now I'm not sure whether they're a Mexican flavour of swordtail. Yeah, lemurs are cool too, especially when they go running around on their back legs. But yeah, we do have plenty of swordtails. Not something I've kept, and I'm not entirely sure which ones come from. Sorry, Ginger. Yes, I use the word flavour like as a species. I've not looked up the CARES preservation list, Dewey. I'm aware of what CARES is, and it's a great thing. I don't even think it actually runs in the UK. So if I could find something that was endangered or rare, and I knew I could look after it well and keep it going and maybe breed it, then I'd definitely get some. Post away, Chewy. I'll read all the comments, and if there's something interesting, especially like that, then I'll have a good look. I'm sure other people would as well. I'm not entirely sure what is. I might have something super rare. I just don't know it. That said, I haven't got any expensive fish, and I'd assume that the CARES list fish would be quite expensive. And I think probably my most expensive at the moment, let's look around and see what we got, would probably be, at the moment, would be Ginger, the longfin super red bristlenose. And I know she's not a natural fish. well bred. Yeah, so I've only been keeping fish for a little over a year. What we're looking, well, August was a year. Back end of August was 1 year. So I've not been doing fishies for very long. So yeah, I'm soaking up knowledge like a sponge, and then I confuse myself sometimes. But yeah, it's all going in. It's just whether I can pull the knowledge out when I need it. Went a bit blacky then. Sorry. At least I haven't burped yet. Yes, it's like the was it the red tail black shark? Not a shark, more like a loach. Is actually extinct in the wild now. That fish only exists in the aquarium hobby. Um, but yeah, so I use the term flavour to describe different species because it upsets people. I didn't cut it off, Alice. I just tucked it away for you. Yeah, have a nap, Rob. Have a nap, Billy. Yeah, I might be getting a haircut this week, so it'll all go anyway, Alice. Yeah, wouldn't surprise. Well, I've got to get it done before the weather turns cold, Alice, or I'll start getting a really cold head. And so generally September, October time, I get it cut and then let it grow out over the winter. It's my winter coat. Keep my head warm, my neck warm, my ears warm. Ah, damn. Um, check your socks. That's a modelling joke. You haven't done something like attached it already to something else, have you? That's the kind of thing I'd do. Look for something. Where's that airline gone? I've already attached it to the air pump. That kind of thing. Yeah, that's the yeah. And if you've got two filters, you've got to have two filters. Yeah, that's the yeah. Finding stuff, you know, you had it and you can't find it. And my beard used to be long enough to do that as well. Um, so that was back in the days when I scared people and it wasn't Halloween. Um, back in the days when people actually would cross the road to avoid me. Back when I had a goatee down to about there, hair down to my backside, but shaved on the back and sides, and I think I had 4, 5, 7, 8. I think I had 11 piercings in my head and face. Tank on my right hand side. That one down there, Alice. That is my cherry shrimp tank. Yes, I had 11 piercings. That's my right. That's my left. That is a pair of rams, some copper harlequin rasboras, and some celestial pearl danios. Ordering plants sorted. More important. Yeah, it is a very pretty little tank. I did originally just have a pair of rams in there. They were very skittish and nervous. So I added the copper harlequins as dithers, which really worked well. Then when I moved the shrimp from the flex that's there back into there, I had to find somewhere to put the CPDs and. I'll try. What ones did I have? So I had one piercing through there, one through there, two through the centre of my nose. One of them was really painful because it went through the bone. That's four. Four through that ear. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8. 2 through that ear. And 1 through my neck there. Yeah, if I stand up, Alice, you won't like the shirt so much. It's a Alice in Chains, the band shirt. That's pretty much my style of music. Alice in Chains, 9 Inch Nails, that kind of thing. Yeah, Human Hearts. And this is one of my nicer, more polite t-shirts. I've got some that you could actually be arrested for wearing in public in the UK. Yeah, I think I've got about half a dozen Cradle of Filth t-shirts. Yeah, they're the ones that tend to get you in on the fish in the boat. Yeah, now try singing that chorus then, Ginger. Yeah, I mean, I won't go into those. I've got some Marilyn Manson ones which you'd probably get done for. A couple of Kid Rock ones that you'd definitely get done for. Yeah, I had another piercing a bit lower down as well. And yes, I did used to set off metal detectors when I walked into shops. We won't go into that, Alice. And I won't send you a picture either. And it would be a Prince Albert if it was. Prince Charles is pinning your ears back to the side of your head so you don't look like the FA Cup. It's not in there anymore, Alice. I took that one out. I took them all out. Yeah, I'll say the most painful one was the second one through the centre of my nose because it went straight through the bone. Well, the cartilage. No, it's all healed up, Alice. They've all healed. Hey, Shelby, right? Yep, you came in at just the wrong moment. And just as I'm about to finish as well, unfortunately. How are you anyway, Shelby Ray? You feeling better? Yes, it's one of these days I might get into broken bones and injuries I've actually done. Yeah, it's that's good. Yeah, it's. I think the best way to put how I used to look would be Silent Bob and Rob Zombie's Love Child with a bit of Robert Smith from The Cure in there. Yeah, yeah, fine, and a criminal record for some of the shirts I own if you wear them in public. I I never had the hair extensions. I could probably do with them now though, Chewy. I ain't got a lot left. I used to have a 4-head, now I have a 5-head. And a little solar radiator. Yeah, I've still got that one, Asbo. Oh, I've still got that one. And there's the effing priest deserves to die as well. That's another one I got. Now, any t-shirt with a picture of a priest in a bathtub slitting his wrists on the front is going to get you in trouble. Let alone the aforementioned Jesus one with a nun masturbating with a crucifix to a skeleton. Yeah. Yeah, all good fun. And you add that to wearing all black, Doc Martens, lots of hair, lots of piercings and beard, and people just avoid you. Which worked quite well because I was avoiding people back then as well. Might have been the smell of stale beer. Anyway, we're at me and religion don't get on well, Alice. When I was younger, from the ages of 11 to 18, I lived with a highly Christian family. And I didn't believe before then, and that, yes, Snoochie Boochies. Epic movies, Chris. I did hear rumours about Clerks 3 at one point, but I don't know if that's still going ahead. But anyway, we've been an hour and a half, and as usual, I'm starting to bust for a wee again. So I will say thank you to everyone for watching and for liking and for commenting and just being general good eggs. And I will see you all next Sunday at the same time. Bye-bye. If I can find the right buttons.